back to episode 4 of the TLZ MMA Report Podcast.
Boom.
Just finished watching UFC 263.
It was a banger.
Some good fights.
I would classify it as a high-level banger.
Definitely a good go.
The prelims were good.
There was some good prelims.
Yeah, I know it's a good card. And we're like, oh, damn, there's 4 good fights on the prelims.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's start right off with that 7-second KO. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Almost beat Masvidal's time.
Terrence McKinney. Well, the crazy thing is it's the fastest light heavyweight knockout, but it's the 4th in the UFC. So between 5 and 7 seconds, you've got 2 others.
Damn.
I mean, realistically, though, the Masvidal one's like 3 seconds. It just took Herb Dean a couple seconds to get over there.
That's kind of the problem with those things. It's kind of hard to break the record because it's like referee foot speed. Yeah. You need Usain Bolt in there.
Usain Bolt is the ref to run.
Go.
Get him.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to Terrence McKenna. Still a good achievement for the boy.
I've always thought that I would be kind of disappointed if I won a fight in like 3 or 4 seconds.
Why?
As if it was like a fight you trained a long time for.
Yeah.
Like I put in all this work for like just 3 seconds.
Get in, get out, and get paid.
I mean,
Now, what I would be really
disappointed
about is if I was on the receiving
infinitely worse.
Like I just
100%.
trained for months just to get starched.
Well, I mean, when Askren got KO'd, it was kind of like, you're just like, oh, because we had like, amongst the 3 of us, we had all been talking a bunch about like who is going to win, who is going to lose. Like we all had differing opinions and stuff.
And I was like, oh, how's it going to go long term? It's not going to go long term at all.
Yeah. Well, because I was, had just kind of started listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and I think he had both of them on, obviously not at the same time, but I'd listened to I listened to like both of their perspectives at the time, and I just remember being like, I like Masvidal. I think I was kind of buying into the hype a little bit, so it was a nice validation to be like, see,
that's one of the great UFC moments, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was hype. But yeah, good job to Terrence McKinney for sure.
Then up next in sad news for a local boy, me and Akeem has a tough night at the office.
Yeah, just had no real answers for the wrestling.
I mean, almost got in the 3rd round. Almost.
He was kind of fucking him up on the feet at the in the 3rd.
Yeah, he was doing just a better job in general of staying on his feet, but just too little, too late on that one.
Yeah, that man is good at wrestling. His takedowns were nutty.
Yeah, they were really, really good.
Yeah, he was doing some good shit. Horrible striking though.
Dude, that guy's striking sucked. He actually has a name.
We don't acknowledge that
he
here.
doesn't.
We don't speak his name.
He who shall not be named.
Well, Movsar Evlo.
Well, I'm glad we looked that up. Couldn't go without
It's
mentioning
a name
him.
I can pronounce.
Yeah. I mean, his takedowns look great, but honestly, his stand-up was so shit that if he fights anyone in top 15, it's over for him.
I mean, he is top 14. I mean, Hakeem is top 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy, eh? But yes, definitely things that need to be worked on.
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, like, it's an unfortunate loss for Hakeem, but I mean, obviously just, drill the wrestling, work on some stuff. It's not like it's like he got outclassed, but it wasn't like he got like horrifically beaten.
I feel like they've just given Hakeem wrestlers. Like, that's just who he's fought.
Yeah.
Give him a striker.
Yeah, let the man
let
the man get the hands go.
Yeah.
Let them bang it out.
Well, I mean, and I can't remember the dude's name that he KO'd, but even with some of the like, he's got some good moments. So
I just wish they would give him like a bona fide striker and just let him
just go at it for a bit.
Yeah, he's a fun striker to watch for sure.
It's good to like give fighters kind of their counter. Striker fights a wrestler. It's good, but it's also good to just see striker battle.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, or wrestler battle or whatever you are best at.
You had that Drew Dober versus Brad Woodley fight.
The old spray and pray match.
It was a great fight, yeah.
Fantastic.
Gentlemen just throwing hands.
Dude, that like most of that fight was just like whoever would jab in, and then it was just them both throwing hooks as like they slipped under, and then it was just like whoever threw the last one on the chain.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Drew Dober's really fun to watch.
He is fun, but that's
what's that? 2 losses in a row for him? 3 losses in a row for him?
Well, he lost tonight. He lost to Islam earlier in the year. Before that, he had beaten Alexander Hernandez, and then he also has a win over Nasrat Perest.
My favorite fighter.
Yeah.
You really showed him.
So 2-2 in his last 4. Oh, and he also won his 5th one before that, so he's not doing too bad.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Islam's like super good. So
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's not
Islam
like
is
a big dent on your record.
Yeah.
I mean, it is unfortunate with this one for him because Brad Riddell wasn't. I don't think he was even ranked.
Oh damn!
So that might bounce him out of the. That should.
I think he was like pretty high ranked, but he's coming off a really long layoff.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but it might be.
Because that might bounce Dober out of the top 15 because he's already ranked 15, I believe.
Yeah.
So with a loss there, not great, but
is so stacked though.
it is stacked. And I mean, I don't know, no diss to Dober. I feel like based off what I've seen, I don't know if he'll ever kind of be the top. Like I don't know if he's going to be a top 5 guy or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's puts on great displays.
Puts on a great show, great fight. Fun
Has
to watch.
a chin of pure steel.
Yeah,
That's true.
which if you're gonna fight his style is a requirement.
Yes.
That is correct.
Until one day it leaves you, and then you have Tony Ferguson.
The real question.
I mean, his chin hasn't left him. It's just
I guess.
everything else.
The real question is, so with fighters who fight the style of Drew Dober, do they fight that way because they have the chin, or do they just start out that way and they were just lucky enough to have the chin with it?
I feel like it's a personality thing.
Yeah.
Like you just want to scrap and throw down, and you're like, oh, I have a good chin. I can do this.
True.
So you just
Yeah.
keep doing it.
So you think for every one of those guys, there's like 10 people who want to scrap and throw down, but just
Get
have
knocked the
glass
fuck out.
jaws?
They
I mean,
never,
we know of a couple of those dudes. We've seen them in sparring.
yeah, they don't make it very far.
Well, you're sorry, boys. Again.
Oh, cracking open a cold
Forgot to open
one
that up before.
on the podcast.
It's a cold one with the boys. No big
Nothing
deal.
wrong with that.
I mean, in a way, if you look at like Justin Gaethje, he kind of like you can see that his default is to just go to that, and then you have Trevor Whitman in between rounds being like, "What the hell are you doing? Keep your hands up! Stop doing this
Calm
shit."
down, please.
Just relax.
Like I feel like it's probably that more than anything. Like you just get hyped up, and you're like, you eat one, you're like, yeah, that's fine. So you just kind of keep throwing. So it's probably a little bit of a discipline thing too, just to stick to a game plan.
You could see every time Drew Dober got hit, he was like, time to throw down.
Yeah,
He would just start throwing hooks.
And he was always smiling
Yeah.
when he was getting taken down or when he was throwing hits.
One of the teammates at the gym when he was in one of his fights, he's like, I'm going to be tactical. I'm going to box in there because he was like pretty wide set shoulder dude. So he just, liked to just swing big hooks.
Yeah.
And we were both fighting, and I'm like getting ready to go, and I just poke my head out because he was fighting, and I just see him and the dude he's fighting, like hands going up like behind them, and they're just like wailing on each other. And I was like, well, I know he's having fun, so I guess that's all that counts. So it's a good time for him.
Respect the man.
Hey, sometimes just throwing bombs is fun.
Just being,
You're tired.
Yeah.
Say, fuck it, why
just
not?
gotta do it. Just the way that the game goes.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little brain damage among friends.
No, not at all. What could go wrong?
Moving to the main card, I don't know what it is like lately with horrendous injuries,
I know.
but like it was Chris Weidman,
Yep.
then it was Jacare,
Yep.
and now it's your boy Hill
Oof.
getting his arm broken. And let's just talk about the referee.
What
Atrocious.
the fuck?
I was going to say atrocious stoppage, but he would have had to stop the fight.
Dude, so not only does Paul Craig submit the guy and he's tapping out, Jamal Hill's arm is also like
It's like a
just
noodle.
flopping around.
And he's like almost like trying to tap with that arm too. Like
and the ref's like,
flopping.
you know what? Hit him more. I want you to hit him. I want you to TKO.
And it was almost worse than that because Paul Craig got the arm, twisted it like it was a pretzel.
Yeah.
Jamal Hill tapped 6 or 7 times, I think we counted, pretty big wide taps. But then before Craig really went in, because obviously he felt the taps too, he kind of looked at the ref, and I'm pretty sure he said something to the effect of his arm's broken, eh?
Yeah.
And then just he's like, okay, well, to war we go. But yeah, just really awful.
Yeah.
I am excited for the hopefully post-fight press conference. Dana White just
Very
into this man.
I mean, that as it should be. Can you imagine how scary that would be to you're in there, your arm's broken and you can't move it, and the good arm was being held down by Craig, so you can't tap in any way, and some dude's just elbowing your forehead constantly.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
I can't believe that he didn't stop that fight Crazy. Is that the latest stoppage you guys have ever seen?
It's up there.
Maybe not latest, but just like horrendous.
Yeah. Especially with like an arm break that. Or I guess I think they were saying it just popped out of its socket, but still.
Whatever.
Like you could like see the bone pressing up against the skin. Like that was bad shit. So hopefully Jamal Hill can heal up quick. And like I mean, hey, congrats to Paul Craig because that was some slick jiu-jitsu on his part. He was looking good in there.
Should have bet on Paul Craig to win the fight.
And that's why I get all the points.
I didn't really even remember who Paul Craig was, to be honest.
I just remembered him from a few, I guess it might have been a while ago now, but I just like knew the name, remember that
he's had some good fights.
Well, and like just looking through his record, like he had a couple submissions, had a couple of KOs, some decisions. I was like, he's very versatile. He seems solid.
The Bearjew. It's not a racial slur.
Is that actually his fight name?
His fight name is the Bearjew.
Oh, I thought we were just memeing because like something you said. Yeah, that's
like. Is it Bearjew or Bearjew?
Okay, that is a great question. Let me find out.
Is this some sort of like Power Rangers name or?
No, it is all one word. Bearjew.
Interesting.
Does that mean something?
It means it's a racial slur. I think that's what it means.
Here, one sec.
Is that like code or something?
I don't know, it's like the Bearjew, like a mythological creature?
It's like Pizzagate of MMA.
Oh, no.
Okay, wait 1 second.
Is Paul Craig going to show up at a bank and try to shoot somebody?
1 second.
What are you looking at there, Zachy boy?
I'm looking at the Urban Dictionary for it.
Okay. Is it like a Mississippi mudslide?
Bearjew, a Jew who beats Nazis' asses to death with a baseball bat.
Okay, that is sick as fuck.
Interesting.
That is sick as fuck.
So that's
however,
that's not bad.
He did just beat a black man, so I'm not exactly sure.
But it wasn't with the baseball bat, so it doesn't even apply.
Okay.
It was with his own arm.
That's kind of the same thing.
No.
That was oofta. Tough time to be an MMA fan if you've got a queasy stomach.
Oh yeah.
That one wasn't as bad as Chris Weidman though.
No, that was horrific. So, like when he stepped on it and it like made a U. That's really what made me like more uncomfortable than anything.
So let me tell a little story to the podcast listeners here.
Let's hit it.
So my girlfriend doesn't really like watching MMA. She watched UFC. The last time she watched UFC was at
that was Usman versus Masvidal 1.
Usman versus Masvidal 1, and she was so bored by that fight. She's like, I don't like watching this. This isn't fun. And I was like, I swear to God, it's better than this. But I'm not gonna make you come and watch it with me. So I'd always just leave the option open, but she didn't have to come with. I finally convinced her to come on the Chris Weidman card. First thing she sees is Chris Weidman get his leg fucking pool noodle. She goes home and she's never gonna watch UFC with me again.
Yeah, I mean that's
reasonable though.
I'm glad she didn't come tonight. The first fight she would have seen was him getting his arm snapped.
And it was just so long too, because he gets it, throws the legs around, kind of contorts the body, and you just see the arm slowly just.
What is with the need that the UFC feels to be like, all right, this guy just broke a bone. Would you like to see it in slow motion?
I mean, when they were like the ref was gonna like raise the winner's hand, and he's trying to grab Hill's hand as he's like holding his arm in place.
Ridiculous.
And it's just flopping all over the place.
That ref's an idiot.
Yeah,
that's correct. He should be fired.
You know what else was pretty bad? Just on the note of having to bear through the UFC showing shit.
Yeah.
I was at work the other day and doing just construction work and stuff, so I have like the noise canceling headphones on, so I just have podcasts running through. And I was listening to an episode of Joe Rogan when he had John Danaher on.
Okay.
And they were talking about Jacare when his arm breaks.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is fine. He's like, yo, Jamie, pull that up. I was like, oh no. And they played the audio like 3 or 4 times in a row. But I'm at work like hammer drilling this deck and my bosses and stuff around, so I can't sit there like fumbling with my headphones or skipping anything, so I just have to hear Jacare's arm snap like 4 times in a row in like 30 seconds. Like, this sucks.
Boy, that sure sounds crazy. Let me hear it again.
Yeah, basically.
Ugh.
Like, no, Jamie, don't pull that out.
Do not. Yeah, I don't like seeing bones or limbs getting snapped.
Yeah.
Not a fan, personally.
Speaking of jiu-jitsu, Damian Maia fought Belal Muhammad.
Nice, epic pronunciation.
Very well done, yeah.
That's good.
I like the Muhammad.
I'm trying to be culturally sensitive.
Sensitive, yeah.
That's true. Good. We should, yeah. Have a little bit of that on the show, at least.
Do we?
No, we should. To balance out the scales.
It wasn't really a whole lot to talk about.
Honestly, in that fight, not really.
Damian Maia shot for takedowns. Muhammad stopped them.
Yeah. in rounds 2 and 3. He didn't stop him in round 1.
I mean, he got like 1 or 2, and then Muhammad just got back up.
I mean, honestly, it's a pretty bad look for Belal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're...
I don't know. Damian Maia is 43. You were 32 and we're kind of a big up-and-comer. That fight should be a bit of a slam dunk.
I mean, kind of. Like, it's the same thing with Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia. There's just kind of like a smart way to fight Maia.
True.
It's definitely not the most interesting way, but it is like the best way.
It didn't even feel like he was fighting smart though. Like Maia even tagged him. If you I know it didn't seem like he was in control but playing it safe. It felt like he still just barely won it because he that's
I don't
where
think he
his
just
skill
barely
level
won.
was.
I thought he pretty clearly won rounds 2 and 3 and he lost round 1.
No, like it wasn't dominant, right? Like it's not like he was destroying him and he was just like, oh, keep destroying him but keep my distance so that he can't hit. Like I know, it seemed like more of a struggle than it probably should be if he wants to keep going up.
Maybe it was just a mediocre showing from him.
Yeah.
It's kind of a meh night in the
Yeah,
office.
I feel like I get it, but maybe it was just like not the performance you want when you're up and comer, but like the performance to get the job done, sort of.
It's not the performance he wants, but the performance he needs right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess also in saying that Maia is, or rather was, ranked 9, so that should throw him into the top 10 there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The downside is welterweight is stacked. So if you're having trouble there,
Fight the loser of Wonder Boy and Burns, maybe.
yeah,
That might be a
bit of a jump.
Loser? You think the loser?
I mean, my thought was maybe.
Oh, you beat Damian Maia. Have Burns or Thompson.
Okay, well,
a Burns fight could be interesting.
Magny. Throw him against Magny. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be good.
Magny's rated 8 right now.
Yeah, Magny would be good.
Or Jeff Neal too.
That's true.
Yeah, Jeff Neal could be good.
I feel like Neal makes more sense.
Neal's rated low is 10 right now, so if
And he just lost his last fight to Magny.
yeah, so that could be good. Yeah, either of those options I think are fair and just a nice little step up, but not throwing him to the wolves.
No, don't want to do that just yet. He didn't look great when he got eye poked by Leon Edwards, but before the eye poke happened, he was kind of getting fucked up. So
I mean, Leon just looked good in that fight.
Yeah, he definitely looked on point.
Speaking of Leon Edwards,
A beautiful segue.
Boy, he gave the business to Nate Diaz for 4.5 rounds.
It was more than that. It was like a minute left.
Yeah.
And then Nate Diaz tagged him.
Yeah.
And then was an idiot.
Yeah.
And wasted it.
Yeah, Nate Diaz lost himself that fight.
Because he what was it? Just I'm pretty sure it was just a 1-2. Like it was
Just one dude down the pipe landed the left hand, and then
points at Edwards.
Yeah, Leon was so wobbly and his eyes were all over the place, and then he's like, well,
Nate
I'll
Diaz,
talk shit.
Yeah. Instead of knocking you out and winning the fight, I will instead point at you and laugh.
Well, he threw the 1-2, and then he could have so easily just stepped forward and did a big lead hook.
Yeah.
Probably would have just sealed the deal right, and then talk shit after when you actually won.
It's
but you can see in Leon's eyes from the time that he could have jumped onto him, from the time he did
step into him. Yeah,
he was very much more recovered.
Yeah.
He was back somewhat.
Yeah.
And credit to Leon with this one, because I think from the point where Diaz actually started attacking him again, there's 45 seconds left. So I thought he just played it smart, tried to clinch up when he could, was still just dipping under the big hooks. If you're gonna get wobbled, that was a good way to just survive the round.
I don't really know what Diaz was doing that entire fight.
He was bending over and presenting his ass.
Walking away. Yeah. He wasn't really putting pressure on Leon at all.
No.
And then his face looked like hamburger.
Yeah,
he got all spliced.
Just a Nate Diaz fight. Yeah, I don't know.
But he was at one point he did bend over in front of him and present his ass.
Yeah, it was a weird
it's
look.
Pride Month, ladies and gentlemen. It's Pride Month.
And then Leon just kicked him in the ass.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's getting kind of weird because, like, what do you do with Diaz at this point? Retire. He's not going to, though.
I would say he said he's never going to retire. First, though, in an interview.
Oh, that's good.
I feel like if Conor loses, you do that trilogy.
That's actually a very good point.
That is, yeah.
Because they're both at that point. They'll both be kind of on their way out.
Yeah.
But they're still big stars. You can make a lot of cheese off of them.
Well, I mean, pop when Diaz walks out, even if he's lost 7 in a row, like, people just fucking love that dude.
It's true.
Like, yeah. People were booing Leon Edwards when they announced that he won.
Let's talk about the crowd from
just
fucking horrible.
You clinch for 1 second. There's all these drunk assholes.
They booed every fight. Every fight tonight that we watched was...
I mean, even the commentary team was like, damn, this crowd is...
Which is insane.
It was like the Drew Dober fight, which was a banger, and they would like clinch for 1 second, and everyone was like, boo! It was like, what is going on?
They booed the Paul Craig Jamal Hill fight, and the fight only lasted 2 minutes.
And like, that was fun. Groundwork.
Yeah.
Like, you saw a man's arm get broken. If you want violence, that is violence.
Ridiculous. Stupid.
Yeah.
It was almost a Brazil crowd bad.
I think it's worse than most Brazil crowds.
Because Brazil, at least they respect the jiu-jitsu a bit, so it takes them a couple of seconds before they boo.
It's usually like any holding against the cage, they'll instantly boo.
Yes, that is very true.
Whereas, I don't know what was wrong with this crowd tonight, but that was awful.
Yeah.
That's why my huge hot take is I liked fights without crowds way better. I'll miss it forever.
I think I disagree.
That's fine. We can have different opinions.
Only because of how hype all of the last card was, because of all the sick knockouts and like the hype that you got from the crowd. Like Usman tagging Masvidal like that, and him like falling onto his shoulder would not have been as high of a high without everyone losing their mind with you.
Yeah.
I agree and disagree, because I agree it's like without dumb crowd it's awesome, and hearing like the corner and shit and all the slaps of the leg kicks is awesome.
Very true.
But also when like crazy shit happens and the whole crowd goes like if Charles Oliveira knocked out Chandler and you had the crowd for that, that would have been awesome.
I don't know, I just prefer, I like hearing the corners a lot. I like hearing the hits. It was fun to have all those moments with the commentary team talking with fighters in the octagon. We don't have that anymore.
True. I think it was like higher highs with the crowd, but lower lows.
But it just pisses me off so much when the crowd boos, especially on like great fights.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to make this fighter, like Leon Edwards, they're booing him so much during the decision. I know it's because he was fighting Nate, but I was like, this dude was like beating ass.
Yeah, it looked
the majority of this fight and looked great. What are you doing? Also, really great that the UFC made the Leon Edwards Nate Diaz fight 5 rounds, even though it wasn't a main or even co-main or a title fight.
Yeah, I really hope they
that was the first
keep
time.
that up.
Yeah,
first time ever, I think.
Yeah, and it was good like that.
Yeah,
we got a good, very solid 2 rounds because of that.
For big fights like that, it's what you should do.
Yeah, definitely.
It didn't feel long either.
Yeah, I can think of several fights that were cut short because they were only 3 rounds.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like there was a knockout, or Paul Craig was listed as a knockout. That was in the first, but then Damian Maia was a decision. Leon Edwards went to decision, and then main event decision, and then the submission in the third of but like it wasn't like there was a ton of first round knockouts, and it's not like the event felt super long or anything. So I think you could do that, like still get away with having 3.
If you have good fights, it's fine.
True.
And I would say
3 back-to-back Usman v Masvidal.
Honestly, I would say all the fights were good tonight.
Yeah.
I don't really think there was a bad fight.
No, it was a solid card for sure. What do we think is next for I guess they've kind of said with Edwards, he's hopefully going to get Usman after
Covington.
After Covington. Yeah. How do we feel Edwards does?
I don't even know if he will. Like if
because he's Leon Edwards and he's constantly getting booted out.
Yeah, that, and if Wonder Boy goes and like starches
also true
Gilbert Burns, then they might just hop over to him.
Yeah, because that last minute kind of hoofed him.
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate because he won like 95% of the fight, right?
He just got like so, and I mean also, I don't think Edwards would win. I don't think it'd be interesting at all.
No.
Because I mean, if Nate Diaz, who let's be honest is a 155er, can tag you, Usman's gonna take your fucking head off.
Yeah, Usman's jab might just do the job there.
Yeah. And like, what are you gonna do? Try to take him down? Like,
no. Good luck.
Like at the very least, with Covington, Usman. Obviously, we've seen that before. Fantastic fight. I assume the second one will also be a banger.
I'm not too sure about that. I think Usman might roll over him.
Yeah.
No, I'd count Covington just getting knocked out as a banger. I'd be fine.
That is true too.
I would bet on Usman in the Covington fight.
Yeah.
But if Covington won, that would really make the division pretty interesting. Shake things up in a big way.
Yeah. That would mix it. But
in a huge way.
If Wonderboy goes out and wins,
I
want to see Wonderboy more than I want to see Edwards fight Usman.
I just want Wonderboy to be a champ.
I just want Wonderboy.
Yes, I would be going for Wonderboy a lot.
You have to cheer for Wonderboy.
But that one would actually be interesting, right? Because it's like, okay, he's got the edge in striking. How will Usman deal with that? If it's Edwards going against Usman, it's like, if Usman has an off night, maybe he can do something.
Who could Wonderboy fight that would make you not cheer for Wonderboy?
Him versus Max Hall. Who are you gonna cheer for?
I'd cheer for Max.
I don't think there's anyone else in
the division.
Yeah,
though.
no.
170 that I like more.
Yeah, at 170.
I really like Chiesa, but I don't think I'd go for him over Wonderboy.
No, I'd cheer for Wonderboy over Chiesa. Did you ever talk about my fucking mom?
I would like to see Chiesa fight Usman at some point.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
That's one thing with quote unquote boring grappling and stuff like that. Like Chiesa versus Magny. I don't think we watched that one together.
Not sure.
That one super entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Chiesa's really fun to watch. Really, really fun to watch.
Because he'll I don't like the term a fighter's letting you do this because it just kind of sounds like you're fanboying. But Chiesa would literally let Magny take him down. Because he knew that, during the scrambles, he'd end up on top. And he did it, 6 times in a row. He'd, just throw his legs up and kind of flip over. And you're like, how are you doing? He's just a lot of fun.
I mean, you think how good Magny looked against Jeff Neal. And then...
Yeah, true.
You had Chiesa, who... Didn't he win every single round of their fight?
I think so.
So...
Sure.
I wonder if that's for Chiesa, actually. Because he's 6 right now.
He hasn't fought in a while, yeah.
I think that Magny one was his last fight.
He's underrated in the division, I feel like.
For sure. We'll see him move around a bit, though, I'm sure.
Yeah. Have him versus Edwards.
Ooh, that could be a good fight.
Poor Edwards.
Leon, I can't get a title fight, Edwards.
Leon also needs he should just beg the UFC to make a 165 division because he would fit very well there.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm the issue with, aside from Usman's skill when talking about people at 170 is he's just so fucking big.
He is huge.
He's a huge 170er. Huge.
Edwards, I'm just you're not, your size is not going to be enough to do anything.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think Edwards, Chiesa, probably Masvidal, all would benefit greatly from 165.
Yeah. And as much as I despise him, Kevin Lee probably would too.
Kevin Lee too,
Maybe even Wonderboy.
Maybe.
Because it doesn't cut really any weight to go to 170 that much.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure about that, but maybe.
Yeah.
Huh. That'd be interesting.
Let's talk about that co-main event.
Great fucking fight.
Your boy.
Brandon Moreno.
Gets the Dubski.
The assassin baby or baby assassin?
Something like that.
It's assassin baby, I think.
Yeah.
The Lego man himself.
The king of Lego.
I do
Put him in the next Lego movie. Put him in the next Lego movie.
Yes.
I hope so.
I agree.
He looked really good, but I kind of felt like Figueiredo did not look good tonight.
No, Figueiredo did not seem all the way in.
He didn't look nearly as good as he had in previous showings.
It wasn't really throwing that much or committing that much.
He landed some good shots, but didn't look stellar.
Well, as Rogan was pointing out a few times, he wasn't setting anything up. He was just throwing big shots, and then Moreno was just lightning fast hands,
fast.
Throwing good combos, was transitioning well to the ground if Figgy got dropped or if he saw the opening to take him down. Moreno looked really, really good.
Yeah, really fucking good. And boy, that guy was so happy when he won.
It was so sweet.
You love to see that.
Yeah, he's just such a nice dude.
Yeah, he really is. So happy for him. Reminded me of Charles Oliveira winning.
Yeah,
just how happy he was. I also liked that he was kind of stunned after he won.
Yeah,
he walked around the octagon for a bit and just looked normal. And then it just looked like a wave came over him, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, that must be such an insane moment. Yeah, just like, oh, that's me. I'm one of those guys now.
Figgy was class act though when he lost.
Yeah.
Lifted him up and stuff. So
I was wondering if people were giving him shit. Lifts him up after he won. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just showing good sportsmanship. I slammed him into the ground.
Yeah, that would have been
Took the belt from him.
Just runs away.
It's mine.
Flies back. Let the champ come and get it.
It's a foot race to become the champ.
That's some Aljamain Sherling shit right there.
Ooh. No, that'd be more like acting.
That is true.
That's true.
But like I think it was Friday night when they were doing their face-off, Figgy shoved Moreno, and like, I don't know, yeah, it's stupid and stuff, but people, I felt like were just piling on, like, he's a piece of shit and he's a this, but I was like, and like the next way, and they did the fist bump thing and we're fine.
Figueiredo has a really bad weight cut.
Yeah, that's kind of what I attributed
that, like,
it
push
to.
was kind of weird because it looked like he went into it like, I'm going to push him at the end of it. He was prepping. Yeah. I wonder if his like manager was just like, you gotta push him.
True, yeah,
to get the pay-per-view.
Gotta sell the fight now, boy.
Well, he was like crying backstage and stuff before because his weight cut was so bad. So
yeah,
it was probably just. I would guess he was just really emotional.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense when he's cutting however many pounds that man cuts because he's a big.
He may want to go to 135 one day.
He's just so shredded.
It definitely would not surprise me to see him at 135.
No.
At some point.
Yeah, I mean, like, class act after the fact. Like, shook his hand, picked him up. That that was a pretty cool moment.
Since he wants to fight again soon, and the nice thing about getting subbed is you might be able to.
Yeah.
It didn't take too much damage, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was impressive to me for Figgy in that fight is just how strong he is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it was in the first round when Moreno took him down and he kind of, like, hooked his arms in behind Moreno's arms, like, forced his knee under the torso and then just, like, pushed him off with his legs, basically. And
like, he had, like, double overhooks and just pushed him.
What? Like, just insane.
He's just so big.
Yeah.
For 20.
Well, and his body fat percentage is so, like, you can see every bit of his muscle on
0%. Yeah.
The old 2% body fat.
Yeah, he's shredded. Funny that Brandon Moreno, like, obviously in great shape, but doesn't really look shred city.
No? I think it just looks like a guy.
I mean, that's a lot.
Which means he's got to walk pretty light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know last fight, their first fight, he, like, went to bed on weight. So.
Oh, wow.
That son of a bitch.
I can only imagine.
What? I was going to say what's next for him, but I mean, it's 125.
Who's in flyweight again?
The number 2 ranked guy.
Joseph Benavidez.
We're going to feed Benavidez to him.
All right, Joseph, this is your last chance.
6 times the charm.
I bet you he was thrilled to watch Figueiredo get choked out tonight.
Askarov, I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but we've seen him fight before, and he's really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I looked at the name, and was like, oh yeah, we know this man.
Can see it happen.
I think it's like a Russian dude or something.
Yeah,
Russian striker.
It's so weird that
undefeated.
Like, one championship has a bunch of really light guys fighting.
That are all juiced to the gills.
Juiced to the gills.
Hey boys, guess who the last person that Askarov beat?
The old Joseph Benavidez.
Joseph Benavidez. Let's go.
Joseph Benavidez, come on, man.
Oofda.
He's that guy.
Did he retire? Did Joseph?
Yes, I believe he said he's done.
That is good.
If not, he should be.
Yes, I would hope so. He can go home with Megan O'Leary and live a great life.
Live a happy life.
Oh no, so sorry. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. I hope Brandon Moreno gets himself a nice Lego set. He's earned it.
Oh yeah, that big Millennium Falcon set.
The Death Star set. He's earned himself the Death Star.
I think the Millennium Falcon's bigger.
Death Star's cooler.
I don't know about that.
Dude, the Death Star set is so sweet.
Dude, the 6,000 piece Millennium Falcon where like all the compartments open up and stuff. That's
counterpoint. A trash compactor that you can screw open and shut. This is the kind of content you guys listen to podcasts for.
Maybe we should get like the huge like 12,000 Taj Mahal set or something.
As I say, I think there are bigger than both of those sets now. The thing they should really do is Lego should just make him a custom set that is a UFC belt.
Oh, that would be so nice. I hope they do something fun for him, like make him a little figurine or something.
Yeah, I wonder how well known he really, like obviously we all know that he really likes Lego, but it's not like it's not like UFC champions are A-listers, and it's definitely not like 125-pound champs are A-listers.
Okay, true.
Maybe he'll get a sponsorship from Lego.
Maybe.
That would be great.
That would be.
Dude, Lego on the shorts?
If you could pick one company to sponsor you, what would it be? Like, you get all this shit free.
Oh.
But obviously within reason, like, you can't pick Lambo and...
What's a good realtor company?
P3. Protein sack.
The protein sack.
Vanilla.
Obvious, yeah.
I was gonna say probably Rival or something. Just get a bunch of shit for free.
True.
A bunch of good gear, yeah.
Just resell that shit.
Cliff Bars for me.
I was gonna say, what do I eat a lot of?
I would just get unlimited free Cliff Bars.
You think the store brand rotisserie chickens would back me up? Because I buy a lot of those. You can't beat it. It's like $5. You get 2 or 3 meals out of it.
Safeway chicken.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great.
Maybe Tesla will sponsor me.
That'd be cool.
That'd be huge.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Then I can, die in a traffic accident because I'm rocketing at, 60 miles per hour in 1.1 second down the highway. Let's go.
Marvin Vettori beats Izzy.
Yeah. Right? Wow. What a
in his imagination.
Yeah. He totally won. What are you talking about? Robbery. He was robbed. The fight was pulled from his grip.
Clear as he won the first fight, he won that.
There you go. Yeah. No. Obviously, he got a couple takedowns, but just
Izzy either had some nice sweeps or just got back up.
Yeah.
Honestly, he looked pretty good. I'd say.
The judges gave every round to Stylebender. I kind of thought that Vettori won the first round.
Yeah, same.
I thought it was a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah. Not like it was egregious that they gave it to Stylebender, but I would have given it to Vettori.
Doesn't really matter.
I would say when they miss rounds that are kind of debatable, and then one person dominated the entire rest of the fight, I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not something to split hairs over, but...
You know what? It's kind of funny because going into him versus Costa, everyone was like, oh, this one's going to be close. And then he just starches him. And then he's like, he's going to starch Vettori. Not close, but, Vettori put up a much better fight than I thought he would.
He shows he belongs in the top guys, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was kind of surprising because we were all saying, going into this one, it's like, who is he beat? Like, you got Jack Hermanson and then Kevin Holland, and that's kind of...
Yeah.
He was on a good fight win streak, but it wasn't against top dudes.
Yeah,
he was like Gastelum, Whitaker, Costa. He didn't have a great resume.
He hadn't beat any of the top 5 guys.
Yeah.
Not even like Derek Brunson. And it's Derek Brunson.
And Vettori was all class in defeat.
Absolutely.
He took it very well.
He definitely stuck around for the interview and didn't just storm out.
Yeah. And wasn't talking shit to Stylebender after.
One thing that was kind of surprising was the weird amount of sportsmanship in the actual fight.
Stylebender just punted him in the nuts.
I mean, he did grab his ass.
Okay,
that is true.
But just I guess more from Vettori because he was losing his shit at all the press conferences and screaming. But when the eye poke happened, it was a very accidental, understandable eye poke. But they were both chill about that. They fist bumped because there was only 3 seconds left in the round. And Izzy walked up behind him and patted him on the back when he was leaning against the cage. Same thing with the nut shot. Izzy was like, "Fuck, my bad." That was blood. They were chill with each other again. So I was like, I thought Vettori was gonna be like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah. And then at the end, I have a hot take though.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hot take.
Hit it.
I don't think Stylebender looked that great in that fight.
We're gonna have words because I was just gonna bring up the entire opposite point, but continue.
You have to convince me on this one.
Obviously he stuffed the takedowns, but what I noticed the most was his striking didn't look as didn't flow as nicely as it had before in fights against Robert Whitaker, where he was throwing beautiful counters from slips and stuff like that. He threw some pretty good counters in here, but it just didn't look like the same Izzy.
I feel like it was more good defense from Vettori and just a different game plan. I will agree with you. He didn't really use his jab at all, which was surprising to me.
He was fucking annihilating Vittori's leg.
Yeah. I think the thing with the strategy going into that was Vettori was doing a lot of kind of bull rushing in. Izzy was kind of baiting him, but he'd come in and then Izzy would just try to do the head movement thing. And I think if he was focusing on pumping that jab out constantly, and then he misses and then Vettori storms in, that's going to be when he gets knocked out, right?
But think about the Costa and the Whitaker fight. where he had those like nice right hands or left hooks and stuff like that. He wasn't throwing those counters that much.
He did. He tried that a couple times, but Vettori just blocked them.
Yeah. I think the thing that I was thinking like while the fight was going on was it's kind of weird because Izzy I don't think actually has that much power. I think his timing and accuracy just gives him those knockouts. So when you look at him like Costa or Whitaker, those kind of things, like he either just baited them better or maybe their hands were down a little bit more or, whatever the X factor was in those fights, he was just able to get them on the button. So when he just can't quite get that button, he still schools you. Because I think he looked fucking fantastic. Like the head movement was on point. In the third round, he was like leaning into stuff a lot more because he got the timing down. Like he schooled him in the striking
style on him.
Style. He's bending the style. But the point I was going to bring up is what this fight reminded me of, and honestly it impressed me a lot, was when Amanda Nunes fought, I think it was Jermaine Durandamy.
Yeah.
Because the striking just suddenly stopped working. So then Amanda she was losing all the stand-up stuff. So she just kind of switched game plan, started taking her down, just went back to what she knew was good, right? So if anything, I thought this was like a really good defense for style bender because like everyone knew that wrestling was now not his weak spot, but you're going to out wrestle him more than you're going to outstrike him.
Yeah, the path.
So he gets up. He was like very good with those things.
Yeah,
even he was laid out flat on his back a couple times and still was able to like do things to get back up in his weight class. So it was like, this is where everyone thinks his weakness is going to be. That was kind of exposed, but then he's good enough to get himself out and then just stick to a game plan where he knows he can beat you.
I think Izzy was just very patient and picking his shots in this fight.
I think one of the funniest things to me was that Vettori, I noticed when Izzy was going for the question marks or spinning shit, didn't fall for any of it, but he fell for the leg kick every single time.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like works in reverse, right? If you go low a bunch of times, you'll start thinking about that and you can kick them in the head.
Yeah.
And if they're thinking about you kicking them in the head, you can kick them in the leg.
Yeah, and he just kept kicking him in the leg. That was really funny.
That is one thing I will say struck me as kind of odd is I don't know if he was winding up more or what, but I will say some of the bigger kicks, it seemed a little bit more telegraphed because he just kind of slipped under those. But
I will say he usually throws a punch in front of that kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he just didn't want to engage on that closer range, but.
And I mean, not every performance you have is going to be an absolutely stellar A+, right?
I thought this was a stellar A+, though.
I would give it an A.
It's just so technical though, and I'd much rather see it because the issue with a knockout really of any kind, but especially if it's quick, is there's a certain amount of luck, not luck, but
you hit somebody in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, you hit someone in the right spot at the right time. If him and Costa fought 10 times, I'd probably bet on Izzy for all of those times, but I don't think it's going to go down like it did in the first, right? If you have a fundamental breakdown of I'm better at you than wrestling because you took me down and I got up without an issue, and I'm better at you than striking because you tried to do this, I dodged everything and just beat the shit out of you, he was technically better in every area of the game. That's an A+ to me.
I think he looked good. I don't think it was his best performance. Yeah. Out of all the ones he's had, but I do think he looked very good tonight.
Yeah.
It's the difference. A good way, I guess, to put it would be as a boxer, I'm decently confident going into an altercation, but the shitty thing is some drunk dude could still just throw a punch and tap me in the chin and then I could get laid out. But if some guy who knows jiu-jitsu finds a dude and takes him down, no one accidentally throws up a rear naked choke. So Izzy, you don't accidentally out-technical fight someone. Izzy just broke him down in every way, and that's just showing off skill, actually showing off skill. Zero luck was involved in baiting with the fight IQ and then the strikes.
Yeah, he had a plan going in for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I think it's the Great Decline or something like that. It wasn't his greatest performance, but I cannot wait for him to fight Robert Whitaker because Robert Whitaker has been on fucking fire.
Yeah.
I want to see the good fainting Robert Whitaker versus Izzy.
I want a 5-round slugfest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fight should blow the roof off. Izzy says he wants to do it in October. I saw on Twitter in
that's
New Zealand. And hell yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun fight.
That would be awesome.
I mean, their first one. Yeah, kind of was what it was. Izzy was just kind of still breaking out into the scene. So it was how good is he? Or how good is Izzy? And then you found out, oh shit, he's pretty damn good.
Very good. Yeah. I don't even know who I'd want to win.
I also,
I'd be a Team Izzy on that one. Sorry there, Timmy.
I'm Team Reaper all the way, but I do.
I'll balance the scale.
I do kind of think that like Robert had been out for a while, and then goes in and fights an absolute killer. Like, is he right back from the gate
After fighting Yoel twice?
Yeah, so I kind of wonder if there was just a little rust on him.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
He definitely didn't fight the way he normally fights in that fight.
Because especially after he fights Darren Till, he looks fucking incredible.
Yeah, he's moving, he's fainting.
Cannoneer looks fucking incredible. He fights Gaslam fucking incredible. So
you know what's the funny thing with Izzy? If you told me like 2 years ago, it's like, okay, he's gonna fight Paulo Costa, Robert Whittaker, and Marvin Vettori. How do those, two of them are knockouts, one of them is a decision, and like kind of a technical chess match? I would not be like, oh, clearly, Marvin Vettori's the fun technical one, right?
Don't forget about that Yoel Romero fight.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I maintain that Yoel Romero won that fight.
I remain that everyone lost that fight, so if everyone loses, the champ gets to keep his title.
The audience definitely lost.
It was a fucking terrible fight.
I still kind of just blame both of them for that one, honestly. I'm like,
Well, I don't understand what was going on, but Yoel Romero is the greatest troll.
I mean, if you're Izzy, you're gonna walk down and rush in?
I mean, he did it once and was like,
yeah.
I'm good. Never mind.
It's so reasonable enough just to kick him in the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Yoel Romero dancing the jig at the post-fight press conference. Like, how hurt is your leg right now?
Marvin Vettori does get an award for his, he got that leg tagged a lot, and it wasn't really compromised.
The award that he wins is not being able to walk. That is the award that he wins.
But I mean, he was still exploding, even in the fifth when he was
tagged
lurching
a couple times with his hands in, or I think round 4.
Yeah, I think the big thing with how Izzy, because we've said he always has that kind of lean back against the fence defense, and it's kind of, you're like, oh shit, when he does get tagged. But I think. What are the big punches that everyone says always will knock you out? It's the ones you don't see coming.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's the one benefit of his system is 99% of the, well, maybe not 99, but a lot of the time he's fine and it goes as planned and he slips under. But when he does kind of get hit, even if it's harder,
he sees it coming.
He sees it right there. I mean, I wouldn't try that with some dudes in the, some guys probably not like Yoel, but
I mean, he does have 75 kickboxing fights, so
yeah.
I feel like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, evidently.
I think it would be so fun to spar with someone like that, just because you learn so much.
Yeah, 100%.
Mainly how bad you are.
I want Izzy and Wonder Boy to meet up at a gym, film the sparring sessions. And
I feel like Wonder Boy would be so nice, but you'd still get really frustrated. I haven't touched him at all.
I feel like Wonder Boy is almost too nice.
You think he's too nice?
Not in a legitimate, when I think it was Jeff Neal that he hit him and he dropped and then he kept just being get back up.
Yeah, he just wants to beat your ass. He did it to Luke, dude.
Yeah. But they were dropped and actually hurt. I was like, dude, just hop on them, beat them on the ground, just 3 more punches.
Maybe he's actually a sadist and just fuck them.
So here's the thing: if he'd lost, I would agree, but because he won, it's kind of badass to knock down your opponent and get you stand back up and fight me again.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
If he'd lost, though, I would talk shit nonstop, but because it worked and it worked.
I get, so, that is fair enough.
Yeah,
good old one. When is him and Burns? I feel like that has to be pretty soon.
I also feel like that, but intuition is deceiving.
Let's look it up.
Oh, on the interwebs.
The interwebs. July 10th.
Nice. Oh, yeah, it's on the same as Connor.
The old McGregor.
Poirier. Man, that card just slaps.
This keeps getting better.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we've really talked about that one. Where do we sit on that? The Birds and Wonder Boy. What's our picks going in?
I'm gonna go with Wonder Boy just because I love Wonder Boy.
Yeah, I mean,
I want Wonder Boy to win.
We'll see how Burns looks.
Burns is a tough dude, man. He's
tough motherfucker, hits hard,
fantastic ground game.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't like about Wonder Boy is he in the Jeff Neal fight is he got hit a decent amount of times.
Yeah.
Now I guess kind of same thing as Izzy. He sees it coming. That's kind of his whole game plan. Yada yada yada. But I feel like Burns is not a dude who you ever want to let down. He just hits so damn hard. Ask Kamaru Usman how hard Gilbert Burns hurt.
This is true.
Great fight. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Next week's fight night is Fucking crazy.
Yeah, what do we got?
Korean Zombie versus Danny Ige.
Yes, let there be blood.
That should be a banger.
Yes.
All out banger.
The rest of the card is kind of so-so, but
You got
Alexei Olenek is always fun.
yeah.
you got Tim Means, Barrera.
Yeah.
Marlon Vera and Davey Grant should be a fun one.
Matt Brown.
He's still fighting? Good
Yeah.
Lord.
My goodness.
Your boy needs to hang it up.
At the ripe young age of
45 or whatever he is.
Damn, 24 and 18.
Ooh.
Record.
That's some Nate Diaz record.
That is. That's crazy.
Nate Diaz is like 21 and 13 now, I think.
damn.
Never undefeated though.
Holy shit. Like Alexei Olenek?
Yeah.
He's 59 and 15 and 1.
Damn.
Oh my
Man was just
gosh.
beating Tin Can's ass in Russia.
Didn't he get stabbed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He's from Russia. He probably got
isn't
stabbed.
that, no, it's not the dude with the chest stab.
I thought it was.
I think it is.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Olenek gets stabbed.
Isn't Olenek the guy who does the he does like the what's it called? The chokes from the bottom.
Ezekiel choke.
Ezekiel
The
chokes,
old
yeah.
Ezekiel.
That was crazy.
Oh, maybe it is.
Damn. Imagine if I was walking in to fight a guy and then I looked across from me and he'd been stabbed in the chest at some point and had a giant fucking knife wound. I would instead not fight that guy because death didn't even want him.
No, that's Alir Latifi, I believe.
Oh,
is the guy.
Latifi, yeah.
The big chest wound.
Yeah. Because if death doesn't want this man, I don't want this man.
Olenek is gonna hear this and be like, "I've been stabbed. I've been stabbed so many
Oh, I'm
times."
sure he has. There's no
Jose
doubt in
Aldo's
my
also got
mind.
that big cut on his face, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from knife fight.
Yeah.
Semi-Joker
So he says.
star.
Or it's just like a cat scratching him one day.
A cooking accident.
So we're down there, Captain Marvel.
Damn.
I forgot about that. Good lord.
Also, his fight name is the Boa Constrictor.
Yeah. It's good.
Fair enough.
Very well done.
Big boy.
Yeah, that one should be good.
Yeah, that's a good
I like
fight.
Marlon Vera. He's had some fun
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, we'll see how the evening goes. You know, we've been watching UFC for long enough that the names on the card do not always make the card good or bad.
Also true.
Some of the greatest cards I've seen have been essentially no names. Then you watch it, oh my god,
Just banging it out.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people just want to scrap. I mean, the nice thing about fighting in general is even if you're just like at an amateur card or something, as long as the two people fighting are of like more or less equal skill level, it's usually a fun fight.
Yeah. What do we got?
More importantly, return of Uberim.
The Uberim.
Let's go.
Let's go, buddy.
Big gentleman.
I want to see a juicy
Absolutely.
Uberim.
Yeah, Alistair Overeem, for those who don't know, was with the UFC for quite a while, but was recently cut. So he is going back to Glory Kickboxing, where they do not test you for shit.
Good.
So he is going to be
Good.
juiced
He's
to
earned
the
it.
gills.
Just full
He's earned
Bane
it.
mode.
Yeah.
Well, you know how he's kind of had a bit of a gut in the last fights? That is
Yeah.
going to be gone.
It's gonna be gone.
Just six, like a 12 pack of steel.
Like Francis Ngannou's going to look at him and be like, damn, that guy's big. Like,
Yeah, juicy Uberim. I hope to see you again.
Can Ngannou and like Overeem go to Glory and just both juice up?
Could you
imagine
imagine?
a juiced up
That's the
Ngannou.
scariest thing I've ever heard.
He can already pick up and suplex Shaq. We can't give him more.
Juiced up Ngannou could like tear a safe in half.
I
With his
mean, I
bare
don't want
hands.
to be the wet blanket, but there's a potential that he is juiced up.
What?
I mean, professional fighter, I'm never going to be surprised if they're like, oh, he's juicing.
True.
I mean, it's possible.
But I mean, also the dude, like, you listen to his story and you're like, yeah, I believe that life would give you that body.
That's
Yeah.
true. He doesn't look
I
like
was
super
just-
juicy either.
I
I
was
was like his traps aren't
Yeah, like
crazy or
he's
anything.
huge, but he's not like weirdly huge. Like, I don't know, he's just a big dude with good genetics.
Yeah.
Who was, in a sand mine for his
That's
entire
good.
life.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you that like you're just digging all day, or chipping, or
Ridiculous.
whatever you're doing all day, every day,
Yeah,
basically.
that would get you jacked. More importantly, fight of the century did happen.
Yes.
Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
As a boxer, I was very happy with this. This is, the pinnacle of our sport.
Yeah,
that fight sucked ass. It was so fucking
You just can't
bad.
commit to the meme for a second.
It was so bad.
I
can't meme.
approximately 5 seconds of that fight and then turned it off.
Yeah.
Because it was like, as soon as I saw like Logan Paul, he was like smiling. Floyd Mayweather hadn't thrown anything, not a jab, not a feint. I was like, this is rigged. I'm going home. I'm not watching this.
I mean, I watched because there was good fights on the undercard. Like you had like Bearjew and some boys going on it. So there was decent fights. So I watched most of it.
And that one man who got popped for everything.
Yeah, there was. I didn't catch his name because I just kind of saw an article as I was watching the fights, and the guy Bearjew was supposed to fight popped for steroids, and I was like, oh, okay. But it was 4 different steroids.
Oh my God.
So I was like, dude, either you don't know how to cycle off, your coaches were just like, fuck it.
Take it all.
If you're going to get one, you might as well get them on.
I guess. If you're gonna juice, go big or go home.
They all just told him it was vaccines. This one's Pfizer, this one's Moderna, this one's just...
You'll be super vaccinated.
Do they usually put Pfizer straight into the ass?
Why is it giving me so much back knee?
I thought it was just the arm.
Is testicle shrinkage one of the side effects?
I kind of have a mixed opinion now that I think about it on the actual fight with Mayweather and Paul. Because there was a few it was a bad fight. That's not where the opinion is mixed.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Mayweather did what he could, tagged him, got some good body shots, some good hooks, overhands, yada yada yada.
Kinda looked
Paul, I wouldn't say he tagged Mayweather, but he landed some shots. But most of it was just them getting close and Paul hugging. But I was kind of debating mentally with what Luke said, was it fixed, was it not, yada yada yada. Because there was a few where Mayweather would just blast him, and it kind of looked like he fell over onto Mayweather's shoulder, and he kind of propped him up. But I also think sometimes with fighting, you're just how's it gonna go? And sometimes the outcome's different. And I think maybe Paul was just big enough that you could just step in and hug him. There you go.
I wouldn't be surprised if he carried that for all 8 rounds.
I mean, why though?
I think what it was from watching it wasn't that it was rigged. I just got the impression that Floyd did not give a fuck.
Also true. He didn't train a day for that.
He did not care at all.
Which his defense still looks so slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah,
but the impression I got just watching was this guy doesn't care at all. As soon as the bell went, he couldn't care less.
I think he ate a couple shots, was he's not going to knock me out. Did what he did.
And so he just rode through it and made a bunch of money. So I guess power to you.
I mean, Logan Paul was like ball and chain throwing all his punches.
I mean, even let's say Mayweather was super trying. You're big enough. Sometimes you can just stop a smaller person from I don't know. He would have just been able to grab him anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's not Mayweather's old or slow. I don't know. He's just big enough to be and I grab you and I hug you and. I can burn time.
I don't think he gave a fuck about it at all.
I mean, he cleared $120 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, respect for making the money.
And then Paul made $20 million? Yeah. I'm okay.
I mean, he did call it a legal bank robbery.
Yeah. That might have been the best thing to come from that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Well, if you could rob a bank and there would be no consequences, wouldn't you?
I don't know who is buying these pay-per-views, but they need to stop.
What are you talking about? I purchased that pay-per-view when I watched it.
100%. Me too.
We on the podcast support legally viewing all fights.
I mean, we bought the UFC tonight. We were good people.
Yeah, we did. And we buy it every night.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
right.
Yeah.
Every time we can.
That's right. Moving on. Clarissa Shields, MMA debut. She gets the fat Dubsky, but almost did not.
Yeah, came back in the 3rd.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people online talking shit about her.
Which is insane.
They're like, oh my God, the professional boxer wasn't very good on the ground in her MMA fight.
And her MMA debut.
Yeah. Oh, really? You think so? Thanks for sharing that. But guess what? She won on the ground by ground and pound. So.
Yeah, I like how it wasn't the champion overcame the thing that was hard for her and got a victory. It's if she didn't win, she sure would have lost.
Boy, I didn't see too many flying triangles from her.
Fighting fans can be a little fickle.
It's true. But yeah, I mean, she obviously has some stuff to work on, but she had like had a stupid percentage of punches land. I think it was like 97%.
Yeah, I mean,
something like. Oddly enough, she's got hands.
Yeah, she'll work on it, I'm sure, and look even better in the future.
Yeah,
She's in a good camp.
Yeah,
well, she's with the best camp for this because I mean, Holly Holm was
textbook
exact same thing.
That is true.
Yeah, good.
She too can go to leaning against people on the fence for 3 rounds.
I can't wait.
I'm thrilled. Yeah, good for her. I would love to see her get really good and then enter the UFC. That's what I want to happen.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty big if memory serves. Like,
yeah, her versus Nunes.
Yeah,
but
she'd be a 145er for sure.
Let her get good first.
Yes, definitely let her get good first.
We can just hammer through some of this.
Oh, the Paul stuff.
Yeah.
You said Jake Paul's fighting someone before Woodley?
So I was trying to find the actual story because I could have sworn I saw it on like MMA Junkie or Uncensored or one of those things, but upon looking for it, there's just been so many other posts I couldn't quite find it. But I guess now rumor has it was that Jake Paul was going to fight Asksab Tamayev, which you don't know who he is.
Yeah, of course. That's what I thought would happen too.
But no, he is the manager for that dude in Russia, the Hezbollah, our short boy with the balloons. But yeah, that was the big rumor. Was apparently in between or before the Woodley fight they were going to go at it, but I couldn't find any confirmation. So I guess that's up in the air.
Great.
I'm sure I'll tune right in.
I couldn't give less of a fuck about that.
Imagine if he just gets knocked out by this dude before fighting Woodley.
That would be funny.
That would be fantastic.
That would be funny. Speaking of Woodley, Jake Paul's fighting Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Let's go, Woodley.
Hey. Let's go.
Scott Coker says he wants Logan Paul and Bellator.
Why?
I like how 1 week Scott Coker's like, we're just as legitimate as the UFC, and then you get, Logan Paul can come over, but Dana White's just like, fuck those guys.
To be fair to Scott Coker, he was like, he can come over, but we'll sign him with people of the same skill level, and he can work his way up. So
do we have people of that skill level? It's hilarious to me when talking about fighters who are up and comers. People just hold high school wrestling in a weirdly high level. But he wrestled in high school.
He was a high school wrestler.
You know, high school anything. Like, I know the states take it more seriously for their sports, but it's not like you're anything of note because you did something in high school.
This is true. I was trying to think of a great example, but I did nothing in high school. So
I mean, like,
it's just like I boxed in high school. It's like, cool. And
dude, that's always the best when someone's like, "Oh my god, you fight?" And like, I took karate for 6 months when I was 20, and now I'm 45.
My hands are registered.
That's cool though. I could kick ass. I'd be great on the street, dude. I'd win on the street. Yeah.
I just see red.
I think the best case I have of that is I used to work with 2 dudes who both apparently kind of peaked in and around high school because that's all they ever talked about. Right. And we ended up like goading them against each other enough that we were this close to having the 2 adult men in like their 30s/40s competing in a foot race. We were so close. We never quite got them to. They were like putting money down. Like, oh dude, I'd smoke you. I was like, who cares? You're 30 years old. I can run faster than you.
But yeah. Oh, that shit's always so sad.
Some people just grab onto things and hold on tight.
Oh, yeah.
What can you do?
There was a guy who worked at back when I worked at a warehouse, and he would talk about how when he was 20, he slept with a girl who was very attractive. He was like 35. And I was like, dude, that is
that man's down bad.
I was like, oh, like you were in a relationship? He was like, no, man, I like slept with her one time. And I was like, dude, like you have like a wife and kid now. Like, what are you talking about? This is so sad.
That's the pinnacle of his life.
Yeah. It's like your life peaked when you had sex with one woman at age 20. That's great.
She was like a
dude. That's what should be what I was on the high school football team for a week before they realized I legally wasn't allowed to play for them.
Yeah. People latch onto the weirdest stuff to give their life like value.
Yeah.
You just got to realize that you have none.
And imagine that some people give their value to, I think Jake Paul is going to win all these fights.
That's true.
He thinks he's going to knock out Nate Diaz now.
I mean, he probably would.
No, I don't think he's going to knock him out.
Leon Edwards couldn't knock him out tonight.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of thinking about this, and I might get massacred for this because I think it is mildly stupid. But I think even if you're like the way you hit in boxing is just a lot different and a lot harder.
Think you hit harder in boxing than in MMA?
Oh, 100%. Boxers definitely hit hard. Because everything you're putting. Oh yeah, 100%.
I disagree.
Boxers definitely hit harder. Like if you go to the pros, 100%. You gotta have 100% of the boxers are hitting harder. Maybe not again. Like I know if you have a freak like Francis Ngannou, okay, maybe not all of them. But if you take the average, 100%.
I don't think so. I think you're fighting over 12 rounds. If anything, you'd have to measure your pace so you're not hitting as hard. You're fighting.
No, but like your form is so much like everything you do, the movement of your hips, it's all built to make sure that your punches are the most effective. Like the entire framework is entirely like when Mayweather fought McGregor, he's like, dude, I'd teach him they were like, oh, well, if you were training McGregor, what would you do? He's like, I'd teach him how to like box properly. Like I'd teach him how to hit properly. Like I think they're just so different.
Movement and mechanics of it are a little different. But I don't think the power of it ends up
like if they were training, like, if you take Dustin Poirier and you'd be like, hey, throw this, throw a right hand as hard as you can. Like, yes, I'm sure like they're all hitting very similarly. But I think when you're actually moving, you can't just stand there in a full boxer stance and like wail like you can normally, right? So I think it's just kind of a difference of that, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Thank you, Luke. Always the man in the middle on the podcast.
I don't know if Jake Paul fits into that.
No. I'm just saying, I don't know. When thinking about like the whole like Askren thing, like I don't know. I think you just like the entire form is just very different.
I think the thing to think about the Askren thing.
Well, yes, that one.
That fight was
Jake Paul himself might not be the best example.
That fight is the most fixed fight I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
There is no way.
Floyd Mayweather versus that.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say
that one is also quite bad.
That one's bad.
Great.
He like left hooks him and he goes like flying across the ring.
I've never seen someone get punched and then jump backwards. Doesn't make any sense.
You don't understand. He's 15 pounds heavier.
He's 15 pounds heavier.
So
you know what? If Francis Ngannou hit me, I might fly back.
Yes, that's a spot.
that's a little different.
Like gravity does exist. That is true, but I don't think that's the.
Imagine him leg kicking you.
Isn't there a video of him just like kicking some lady?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's holding like a big kick shield and he just knocks her over.
I'm pretty sure there's him with like full grown men who he like kicks and they still drop.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
Big dude.
You'd take my legs up. And then, so George St. Pierre got a statue made of him.
Yeah, in his hometown, they, very Rocky-esque. Yeah. They made the statue for him.
And it looks like Barack Obama.
It does look like GSP, just mixed with Obama.
But it just also looks like Barack
Which,
Obama.
when you think about people GSP looks similar to...
Obama's not at the top of that list.
How does it end up looking like that?
Obama.
You know what I think happened? Here's my theory.
I mean, they're both bald.
No, my theory is that the artist was initially commissioned to do a Barack Obama statue, and then halfway through they changed it to GSP.
Like, this isn't gonna work.
Is it the bronzing effect? Because obviously, like, he doesn't look super
racist.
white. It looks slightly, it does look like GSP.
Yeah.
But it also does look, it's a weird kind of mind
Barack
trick.
Obama.
It's like when you look at that picture of like the rabbit or the duck, depending on how you squint your eyes.
What color is the dress?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's like their like love child.
It's like in in the comics when they made like the clone of Superman and Lex Luthor by mixing. It's Obama and GSP.
Nice.
A politician who can kick your ass.
See, that's how we should elect people. Trial by combat.
Absolutely.
Some Black Panther style.
Yeah.
I'd watch like Joe Biden versus Donald Trump.
Yes. I'm betting on Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump wins that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably remember where he is.
So here's what happens. Joe Biden would forget the fight was happening.
Yeah. Much like Nate Diaz at certain points.
Donald Trump would KO him and then have a heart attack while celebrating because he's so out of shape.
You know when they put there's that video of like the coaches who put like the cocaine in the water or whatever it was? That's what they need to do for Trump.
For Biden, they're just putting some kind of dementia medication in the bottle.
You're funny. Remember, hit this guy.
Dude, if Biden doesn't trip going up the stairs into the ring, that's a win. They've already done it.
They have to put him in a cage instead of a ring just so he doesn't wander out.
Their entire training game is just walking up the stairs.
All right, Joe, here's what you're going to do. 1 foot up.
Watch this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe toss Bernie Sanders in there instead. I feel like Bernie and Joe is closer.
Yeah.
You could have like a tournament, put Hillary Clinton in there as well versus Trump.
Yeah.
She's a cyborg.
You know, I feel like Bernie could scrap for the people.
It's just the Brooklyn accent. Like, he'd just be too tough.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking do that to me. Like,
yeah.
This is for socialism.
This one's for socialism. Man, we should do that. We should pit some thinkers against each other. That'd be great. Like, I'd watch Ben Shapiro box. I don't know.
You know.
We're matching up with Jordan Peterson.
Dude, you could do Milo versus Ben Shapiro's so good. The Nazi versus the Jew.
Oh no!
Wait, hypothetically, if I win,
Let's say hypothetically, I were to beat his ass.
He knocks him out. Now you can see here that when he threw his jab, I slipped. I then threw my jab, followed up with the 2.
I think that's a huge business idea.
That's a huge. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. If you, as a Jew, lose to the Nazi, not good.
Not good.
Not good at all. You have to win that.
I mean, that's just history.
Oh no!
Okay, so now we just need someone who's American, Canadian, British, and someone who has got all the genes in there to win.
The Allied forces.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Well, fellas.
Well, that's a fun note to end.
That's right. You listen to us for the high quality MMA
insight.
I would just like to say from the bottom of my heart, iTunes podcasts sucks ass. I have been waiting for a response forever. And we're still not approved on there. So if you're one of the now 10 people.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you.
Listening to the podcast.
It was like, what, 6 last week?
I'd just like to say it's not my fault. What do you want me to do about it? Like, I've emailed them, okay?
I mean, hey, we're on YouTube, Spotify, all those other things. We've got it.
It just pisses me off. Like, we will respond to you in 7 business days. It's been 3 weeks.
Who uses iTunes music anyways?
That is true. If you're using iTunes music and listening to this, first off, how are you doing that? Second off, use a different medium.
If you are listening, though, hey, send it, like, tweet at us or send us some questions. Because
who's the one person who's listening to us on Google Podcasts? Who uses Google Podcasts?
Well,
please email the show.
Next week isn't necessarily the most exciting. It has potential to not be the most exciting week of fights, so we need some talking points. Give us some stuff to work on.
Shoot us something, especially why you're using Google Podcasts.
I'd like to know.
I'm curious.
All right. Thank you for listening, everyone.
All right. Later.